What's going on, YouTube? It's Sensei, place to be chill, Mr. A&E, here to give you guys a Money in the Bank 2020 review. The risk is worth the reward, as both women's and men's Money in the Bank match will be taking place simultaneously at WWE headquarters, and they have to go up to the roof and take down the briefcase. This has been a pay-per-view that has a lot of speculation to it, and honestly it drove a lot of people in just to see what in the world is going to happen at WWE headquarters. So obviously, and I was sitting thinking, like, is this going to be a match where it's going to take place throughout the whole night and they keep cutting back to it, or is this just going to be like one big main event thing? And we got our answer. It's a one big main event thing, and we will talk all about that, but we had to get through the regular show first. And overall, I'm going to give Money in the Bank a passing grade. Once again, it's pass or fail for me, stuff like that. I give it a passing grade. There were some underwhelming moments and underwhelming matches, stuff like that, but I think for the most part, Money in the Bank did a pretty decent job. I did not see the pre-show between Jeff Hardy and Cesaro, so I did not see that matchup, so I can't get into that, but we'll get into the start of it. So Money in the Bank starts off with the Fatal 4-Way for the Tag Team Championships. The New Day taking on the Forgotten Sons and versus Miz and Morrison versus the Lucha House Party. So they funny moment, Big E tosses his jacket to Corey Graves and knocks his headset off. So Michael Cole goes over the rules of the matchup. Two men start inside the matchup, and anybody can tag in anybody. It's a fatal 4-way. There's no pinfall disqualifications or anything of that nature. But you know, the nature of the rules, stuff like that. So the match is pretty much what you expect between a fatal 4-way matchup with these teams and everything. It goes pretty good. Like I said, I was in and out of this matchup when it first started. I was doing other things, had this going on in the background. Big E picks up, has a strength, catches Lindsay Dorado. I believe it's Lindsay. No, Lindsay Dorado gets a Trouble Paradise. He gets Grand Metal League in the big ending. Hits the big ending on Grand Metal League and hits the pinfall, and then the New Day retained the Tag Team Championships. So I was actually shocked by that, because you know, on the predictions I picked the Forgotten Sons, because if they want to put the Forgotten Sons like on the map and not kill them off like Sanity, then having them win the Tag Team Championships is the right thing to do. But having also the Tag Team Championships keep bouncing around is not a good thing anyway. So New Day retained the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Next up is supposed to be a matchup between R-Truth and MVP. For the point of what? No, we don't know. R-Truth comes out and he does his whole rap and everything. He says what's up to the audience, knowing that they're not there, you know, just being funny. And then MVP comes out in his Black Panther gear from Royal Rumble, and then he says, yo, wait, what are you doing out here? And he says, look, we said the fight, but he said, but you know, R-Truth was making fun of MVP's balling, and MVP calls him, you know, future, was it Offset, you know, wannabe. And he says, you know, he's not wrestling tonight. But then as they're, well, he didn't say that, but as they're arguing, Bobby Lashley's music goes off. So Bobby Lashley's coming out here, and MVP backs out, and Bobby Lashley ends up having a match with R-Truth. For what reason, once again, we don't know. But Bobby Lashley, he dominates R-Truth, pins him with the spear, and then he wins and moves on. So I was like, I don't understand what the point of this was maybe just to get Bobby Lashley on the show, because they probably wanted him in Money in the Bank. Who knows? And then I was like, what was going on with MVP or not? But next up, we get the SmackDown Women's Championship matchup. Bayley taking on Tamina. Sasha Banks is looking, oh my God, good tonight. And Bayley's out there with her tan, and then Tamina's out there. So at first, Bayley's just talking trash in Tamina's face, and then starts punching her, and then Tamina gets the upper hand and starts beating up Bayley. And then so the match will probably, I would say it will be a solid matchup for Tamina standards, because it's like, I gotta go back to Tamina versus Layla. to think back to the last time I seen a Tamina match that lasts this long, a singles match, because she either been in multi-woman matches or tag team matches or stuff like that. But to have herself like in a singles match, I had to like really think back to like when Tamina, who was in singles matches and stuff like that. Bayley starts working on Tamina's leg, slides in, and does her drop kick underneath the ring post on Tamina's knee. She's working on the knee, but Tamina hits a super kick to Bayley on the outside, but she knows she has to pick her up to win her in the inside. And then she goes for a Samoa drop, and she's about to pin her, but Sasha comes in the ring, and Tamina just stares her down. And then she starts chasing after Sasha, which I don't know why she would do. And then Bayley catches her, and she gives her a crucifix pin, which looks bad. And then she goes and she gets the count, but then Tamina holds on to go put her into another Samoan drop. But Sasha comes in there and gives her a chop block, and it gives her a knee right to the face with heels on. As Bayley wins the matchup, and her and Sasha celebrating at ringside, talking trash to Michael Cole and stuff like that. The match wasn't nothing. Like I said, this is the most I've seen Tamina in a singles match in years and everything. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I knew Tamina was not going to win a championship. There were people actually that thought that Tamina was going to win because of maybe a Dark Side the Ring episode. They wanted to, shoot back at it, whatever the case may be. I'm just like, no, Tamina is just not for the championship. She's not going to win it. So get it out the mind. We get now we're going for the Universal Championship. Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. The video package for this was good. Actually, it was really good to the point where I thought it was better than the actual kind of like match, or better than the actual build up. So we get Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt out there with the whole Mr. Rogers get up in that itchy sweater, and then Braun Strowman comes out like I came back from my Iraq pants, and really Braun Strowman just dominates Bray Wyatt in the beginning. He gives him a shoulder tackle here, shoulder tackle there, and then Bray Wyatt is on the outside. Braun Strowman's going to line him up for the run, but Bray Wyatt sidesteps him, and then Braun Strowman goes over the table. Then we see Husky's Pig in the corner talk about, so come on, Bray, which motivates him. Bray hits a DDT on the outside, tosses Braun back in, starts working on him, gives him a senton, and then Sister Abigail by Bray Wyatt, but Braun Strowman kicks out, and Bray Wyatt swore up and down he had that. There was a time I stepped away real quick. I know Bray Wyatt brought back out the black sheep mask and put it on Braun Strowman, but it didn't work. Strowman ends up getting out the trance, if it was a trance. Like I said, I missed that part. And Strowman gets Bray Wyatt up for the power slam and beats Bray Wyatt for to retain the championship. Like I said, the match was what it was. I thought maybe like last minute they'll probably get like a little creepy with it, and like there's a lot you can do with the sheep mask and stuff like that. But I don't know if they're ready for that yet. But Bray Wyatt's just seen in the corner. You just see little clips of the feet and stuff like that. So that stuff is I don't know if this feud's going to continue. It probably would. I don't want it to, but it probably would continue. So that's what we have there. WWE Championship time as Drew McIntyre takes on the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. Now, in my personal opinion, when it comes to regular matches, this was the match that stood out the most tonight. Match of the night. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the Money in the Bank match, but this one right here, for a wrestling match at the Performance Center, this one was really good. Both guys got good chemistry together, and both guys, even when there's no crowd in the ring, they could put on a really decent matchup, and this was really, really good matchup here. Seth Rollins hits the frog splash, and Drew McIntyre kicks out at 1. And that was deep into the matchup, and they were playing up the resiliency by Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins hits the superplex Falcon Arrow combo on Drew McIntyre, which was impressive. And once again, it's only about a 1.5, 2 count with that one. Drew McIntyre does hit some deadlift suplexes on Seth Rollins, which really looked good. He was in the Tree of Woe. Seth Rollins is working on his knee, and Drew has this move where he likes to sit up and just toss people off of the top rope from the Tree of Woe. That was cool. He hits a future shock DDT on Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins kicks out at 2. So the match is really good here, going back and forth. Seth hits a super kick trying to go for the curb stomp. And, oh, God, did he hit the curb stomp? I'm not sure. I think he may have hit it. It kicked out. I'm not sure. You can post the comments below. Because, once again, I'm not going to lie to you. When Money Bank was on, I was watching it. But I would just look down and do other stuff because I was trying to get everything together right before the main event, obviously. So, but Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore kick and pins Seth Rollins in a very good matchup. Drew McIntyre retains his WWE Championship, and after the match, Drew McIntyre extends his hand to Seth Rollins to shake his hand, and Seth Rollins was like taken aback by that. But then, if it was meant to be, it'll be, as Drew McIntyre said, as he goes to the back with his championship. Now it's time for what we all been waiting for. Now it's time for the main event, the Money in the Bank ladder match for both women's and men's contracts for the World Heavyweight Championship. You got to start at the lobby, so they said, and then you could work your way all the way up to the top of the roof to win the briefcase. So the women consist of Asuka, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler. And the men consist of Otis, AJ Styles, Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, and Rey Mysterio. So at first, you see the women come out in the lobby, and they introduce Lacey Evans and then Nia Jax, and they go to the men, and the men are in a gym area, and you see it's AJ Styles comes out, then it's Otis that comes out, then they go back to the women, and then it's Shayna Baszler, Carmella that comes out, and then Shayna Baszler, and then they go to the men, and then the men we have King Corbin that comes out, and then Aleister Black that comes out, and then they go back to the women, and they show Carmella, or Dana Brooke or Carmella, and then they say Asuka, but they don't know where Asuka's at. And then they go back to the men, and then you see Rey Mysterio come out, Daniel Bryan, everybody's coming in like, oh man, you ready for this? Come on now, we gonna do it. So it sounds like the guys are ready, all in the gym area. And then you look up, they go back to the woman, you look up, and then you see on the balcony area, there's Asuka right there, and she's speaking in Japanese, and she's dancing and everything. And then as soon as the bell rings, Asuka leaps from the top and takes everybody out, all the women out. So then, smart move, and then she goes and runs to the elevator. So it's very cinematic. You see Shayna Baszler and Lacey Evans getting up. They're trying to stop her from going to the elevator. She goes to the elevator. She pushes the elevator. So Asuka's now in the elevator, headed to the roof. And then they start chasing her. They start trying to chase to find the elevator of where Asuka's going to be going. Now we cut over to the men, and then the men start brawling all in the gym area. So we all not starting in the lobby. So I'm guessing the gym's on the first floor, and then they start fighting. Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio have some exchanges, and they go on the pole, and then Rey Mysterio kind of gives Aleister Black a little Hurricane Rana into the gym equipment. Daniel Bryan kicks Baron Corbin off the pulley machine, and then Corbin grabs a weight slab, like a 45-pounder, and just chucks at Daniel Bryan. He moves out the way, and he breaks the mirror and puts a hole in the wall behind the mirror, just like Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa did. And he's just staring down at what's going on. Otis and AJ are fighting, and then AJ's on the floor, and Otis is like, yeah, time to lift some weight. So he goes and deadlifts his weight and puts it right on top of AJ's chest, so AJ can't get up, and all the guys start running. Mysterio is right there, and AJ's begging for Mysterio to come help him, but he just looks at him, and he's like, oh, y'all local, and then they just leave AJ there as they start making their ascent to the roof. they all run, and then as Rey Mysterio's running, he runs past the bathroom, and he hears it flush, and for some reason that makes him stop. And then who comes out? Bruce Pritchard as Brother Love comes out and talks about how he loved Rey Mysterio. He's zipping up his fly, and then, hey, look, I give a sudden nod for washing your hands, especially with the stuff going on here. So they make it to this area where it's like a ring set up with these ropes and everything, and they are sitting there fighting each other in these ropes. And I was like, it was weird. Daniel Bryan has Corbin tied up in the ropes. He starts kicking him, and Otis starts doing the yes chant, and then Daniel Bryan starts beating down Otis with the kicks as well as he goes on. Then for some creepy reason, this guy dressed up as Doink the Clown comes from behind the chair, looks around, and it goes down. I was like, okay, that was kind of pointless. I don't get it. I guess like what I was thinking is they had some cameos in here, but it was definitely of the WWE writing staff and agent staff, and I thought they was gonna have like probably some more legend cameos. But as you think about it, during this pandemic and older people, you don't want to be flying them out, or you probably can't fly them out all the way to Connecticut and stuff like that from all over the United States. So there's that. The women are finally they're brawling, and they're in this conference room, and then Shayna Baszler and Dana Brooke are in the conference room along with Nia Jax, and then Nia Jax gets hit with a chair by Dana Brooke, and then she takes down Shayna Baszler, and there's this random briefcase that's hanging up in this room, and then for some reason Dana Brooke gets up on the table and grabs the briefcase as if she won Money in the Bank, and it's a transparent briefcase full of cash, and I'm like, Dana Brooke, like dumb baby face. I mean, why would you think that that's the Money in the Bank briefcase that's sitting? As much as they've been promoting it, it's on the roof. It's on the roof. Why would you think they would have it right there? And second of all, why is there a briefcase that's standing right there full of money? I guess like a decoy. It's kind of like if you ever watch Recess and they had the kindergarten derby, and then they put the little toys out, they run, they stop, and they just stop because it'll be a distraction. That's all I could think it could be. But when Dana Brooke grabs the briefcase, we just see this sliced in video from Stephanie McMahon, who is clearly not there. She was saying, Dana, what are you doing? If you want to try to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, it's on the roof. And clean this mess up. You're fighting in the headquarters here. Nia Jax laying there drooling. So she just looks there dumbfounded. Carmella comes in and picks up a picture of her off the wall where she won the Money in the Bank, hits Dana Brooke over the head with it, and says, Mella is money. And as she comes out, Lacey Evans hits her square in her neck and takes out Carmella with the women's right as she makes her ascend up the stairs. So as we get to this cutscene where Paul Heyman is sitting down, because he would be in WWE headquarters right now, and he's about to eat some food. There's a little salad there. He makes a joke of the salad. He goes over to the sandwich and Posse's about to eat, and then the men encounter the women. I think I am missing the part because there's more fighting, and then they get up on the elevator, and then when the elevator goes up, then all of a sudden Shayna Baszler and everybody is right there at the elevator, and then when the elevator opens, the men come out and they're brawling. Asuka's still hiding in the elevator, and for some reason they don't see that, and then now there comes the stare down, and then Otis starts shaking and gyrating, and then all of a sudden Otis is like, food fight, and I said, we're really not about to do this right now. But Otis grabs the tray of food that Paul Heyman was about to eat, I know, right? And just tosses it right in Paul Heyman's face. And Paul Heyman just looks mortified and looks at this hideous thing and talks about, wow, just start that. And they really start a food fight right there. And in the midst of the food fight, Shayna Baszler has Rey Mysterio in the Coquina clutch, You know, the Karabuta clutch with when Shayna Baszler does it, and then she's choking out Rey Mysterio, and then Otis comes to runs, and Nia Jax comes to run on one side, and they just squish Rey Mysterio. I was like, oh God, well, Rey Mysterio's dead. Carmella starts hitting Nia Jax with some super kicks, but then Nia Jax picks up Carmella and then throws her right through the table. And then everybody else is running, and they keep on going. Otis keeps going, and then he goes into this other part of the kitchen, and there are just snacks and pies just lined up because that's what they would do during the Money in the Bank match. And he grabs a pie, and then who comes in? It's People Power. John Laurinaitis with his white suit and red tie, and then Otis just takes the pie and just tosses it right in Laurinaitis' face, and I'm just like, a waste of a pie. But AJ, meanwhile, is looking for Rey Mysterio. He finally gets up from the weights, and he's looking. He's like, Rey, where are you, Rey? He's going around checking every door looking for Rey Mysterio, even though the goal is to get the briefcase on the roof. But right now, he is really set on Rey. And then as he's walking down the hallway, he sees this big portrait of Undertaker from WrestleMania 33, and he starts getting PTSD. And then AJ Styles started to get a little scared. And he just says, he shakes it off. He's still looking for Rey. He opens the door. It's the purple and blue Undertaker ambiance with a casket right in the middle of the floor. He says, no, impossible. Aleister Black kicks him in the room, and then he just closes the door while AJ is screaming because he has, the PTSD. And and they go back onto the roof. So the match is going on. There is a guy that's in this, once again, this area, this lounge area, and he's mopping the floor. Oscar runs past him, is asking, how do you get to the roof? And then he doesn't know what she's saying. She's saying Japanese, but then Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are following her. And then all of a sudden, Dana Brooke is trailing behind her, and you already know where this is going. Dana Brooke slips on the floor, hits the back of her head, because the guy was sitting there mopping. And so Shayna Baszler and Nia Jackson, they see and Oscar are running, and then Oscar like she runs through this door. Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler stop. Nia Jackson kind of like choke slams or slams Shayna Baszler up on the wall. And it takes down Lacey Evans, and then they run, and her and Lacey Evans run to the staircase. Then they get to the staircase. Then we switch back over to the men of Daniel Bryan and Aleister Black fighting, and then AJ Styles appears as he comes out of the room for PTSD. Him and Daniel Bryan are fighting, and then all of a sudden they fight right into Vince McMahon's office in HQ. We see the big dinosaur head up there and everything, and then Vince McMahon turns around and he looks right at Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. And look, I'm gonna tell you right now, Vince McMahon does have a good body because he works out, but when Vince McMahon turned around, I was just like, this is the result of the stress of 2020 for Vince McMahon. This man had lost the XFL. He's being sued by a wrongful termination by the commissioner of the XFL. He obviously is dealing with this whole pandemic that's out here, which is causing the stocks to drop, which is causing business to lose money, which causes all these furloughs and layoffs that's happening. And WWE had to be named essential in Florida and trying to fly all these superstars out to to do this show and do all this recording. The man looks beat. And I'm like, yeah, Vince McMahon been looking old. He's been taking a hit. And just like when he came over on SmackDown, everybody was asking, like, yo, is Vince all right? 2020, just from the months that all this stuff started, has taken a toll on Vince. And you can see it all in his face. And then all Vince is looking at them, he just tells them to get out the office. And then they all get out, and then AJ Styles is trying to like reposition the chairs and everything for fighting. And they casually walk out the office and everything, him and Daniel Bryan. And then you just see Vince McMahon take his hand sanitizer because, hey, we're on a pandemic. If Brother Love is washing his hands, you gotta clean your hands because you know he's 74 years old. He gets a sanitizer and then goes right back to work in his office. And I thought the sanitizer thing was funny. Him and Dan Bryan and AJ on the outside saying, you know, AJ was like, man, you were a little punk in there. He said, me? You don't want to rearrange your chairs. He said, I did do that, didn't I? Then goes back and hit Dan Bryan, and we right back into the matchup between everybody. So AJ and Dan Bryan start brawling again, and then King Corbin comes out of nowhere with his scepter and starts taking everybody out, and Aleister Black comes back and he takes them out and throws everybody in the conference room, and then Corbin just has the wherewithal to say, I'm going to the roof. And then that's what happens. So now we get the camera panning up on the outside of the building, the 10-story building, which I thought was a 7-story building. Nia Jackson, Asuka, the first one's out there. So it's only one ring. So Nia Jackson and Asuka are rumbling for a little bit. Then Lacey Evans comes out to the ring, and then she starts interacting with Nia Jax, and she takes out Lacey Evans, and then Asuka. Once again, there is no Carmella, there is no Dana Brooke, there is no Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler got taken out when she had chokeslam to the wall. Dana Brooke got taken out because she slipped on a perfectly waxed floor, and then Carmella got powerbombed through the table where the food fight happened. So I think they're the ones that was taken out. So there's back and forth fighting. Asuka is climbing the ladder, and then as she's climbing the ladder, King Corbin makes his way to the outside, and for some reason he's climbing up the other side of the ladder while Asuka's climbing the ladder, and then Asuka is reaching for the briefcase, and he's like, no, and I'm like, there's the men's briefcase right there. Why are you trying to stop Asuka from grabbing the briefcase? Because that's the women's briefcase. There's no men out here right now. There is none. Now, once again, I don't want King Corbin to win, period, because I don't like King Corbin. And I just don't want him to win, even though he's been having like a decent year. Sort of. But I'm like, to be smart about it, there is no men out here. She's grabbing her briefcase. You grab yours. And he's like, no. So Asuka, being the smart woman she is, she kicks him right in the ear. So she wins her Money in the Bank ladder match. And now it's just time for the men. So now Otis makes his way up to the top. And then Otis once again sees the ladder. And it's the same thing for SmackDown. He breaks the Bob ladder because he's too heavy. And, you know, that ongoing joke. I thought we was going to see the Big Show ladder. Like when Big Show had to pull out the ladder, like that. We don't see the Big Show ladder. That's very disappointing. So, Corbin takes down, fights Otis. But Otis hits the caterpillar on Corbin. Aleister Black comes out of nowhere and hits the black mask on Otis. Rey Mysterio finally makes it to the roof, and there's a sit-down senton on Otis. And then Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black are fighting with the ladder. They go to the top, but then AJ Styles makes his way to the roof, takes down Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black as they roll to the ring. Then Corbin grabs Mysterio and presumably tosses Rey Mysterio off the roof. He kills him. And then it's like he tosses Rey Mysterio off the roof, and on a 10-story building, 2 to 3 seconds later, you hear a thud. And I'm like, they hit the ground pretty quick. I mean, like, if you're on, I'm not saying it's going to take a long time for you to hit the ground, but if you're on a 10-story building, it ain't going to take no 2 seconds for you to hit the ground. And then so Corbin's not done. He takes Aleister Black and he throws Aleister Black off the roof. And I'm like, both Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black is off the roof. And I'm like, is this going to be a thing where they're being written off for a while? Or are they going to be on Raw tomorrow night or tonight when people are listening to this and just be all right? It was kind of like Big Show, like from when he got knocked off the roof when he was having a match with Hogan. But then also he just came in back. I mean, he had like the swamp stuff on him. I guess I don't know what happened to him, but hey. But he presumably killed Mysterio and Aleister Black, and they hit the ground very, very quickly because they test stories high. So AJ Styles gets the ladder, he starts climbing the ladder, and then Daniel Bryan comes in and they start fighting at the top. Otis pulls down AJ Styles, and then Otis gets Pele kicked by AJ Styles, and then AJ Styles sets him up for the phenomenal forearm, hits the phenomenal forearm on Otis, and gets ready to climb the ladder. Then Corbin climbs the other side of the ladder, and they both unhook the briefcase, and AJ says, I got it. No, I got it. But then Elias comes back and hits Corbin in the back with a guitar. Then takes Corbin off the ladder, and AJ has the briefcase but fumbles it. And as he fumbles the briefcase, he drops it right into the hands of Otis at the bottom of the ring. And Otis is your new Money in the Bank winner. Otis and Asuka win the Money in the Bank. Did not see this coming. I thought, first of all, if Sasha was going to get in there, I thought Sasha was going to win. Sasha was not in the match. So Shayna was in the matchup. I thought Shayna Baszler was going to win. Did not happen like that. Asuka wins. I mean, I'm proud of Asuka because Asuka needs to get back to that level that she was at. Looks like the Kabuki Warriors is probably over. It looked like they killed 2 tag teams tonight, actually. And it looks like Kairi Sane may be headed out. And Otis looks like he's done as well with Take. Well, I don't know if Hey Rashiri is still going to be a thing, but Otis been having a good year. He got the girl. And after the match, he's like, hey, Mandy, I did it. Just like, Adrian from Rocky. So he's been doing good. I'm not necessarily mad at Otis winning, but I'm just like, Otis, as the push is going, he's not world champion material just yet, especially with Drew McIntyre being as hot as he is, and then Braun Strowman on the other side. Otis is just not ready. I don't know if he's going to hold the championship with Mandy and actually play this thing out for a year, or if Otis going to be a thing where he loses it like Kennedy did to Edge, because I can really see Otis having a match with AJ, but once again, Otis on SmackDown, AJ's on Raw, so I don't know. I would have liked AJ winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think it would have been cool for his character to have the briefcase, but it is what it is. So that was Money in the Bank. Very interesting concept, and I have to say, I enjoyed it. I really, because look, when you have no crowd and there's nothing, and there's just nothing to react to, I like the cinematic stuff. This match, it was a little bit shorter than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer, but once again, I expected them to fight on every single floor before they got to the roof, because you got to still do some stuff in there. But it just ended kind of short. And also, I liked, the PTSD with AJ Styles. I liked the Vince cameo. It was a little underwhelming. I expected more, but I liked the Vince cameo. Didn't like the Stephanie stuff. The John Laurinaitis stuff was pointless. The Brother Love, I popped for it. You know what I'm saying? Because, I wanted to see some more stuff like that, but I popped for it. There was just, some, like, to some people, too much silliness to it, like too much, laughing and stuff like that to it, with the jokes and stuff like that. But I think for the most part, it worked, and I liked it. So I just wish it was a little bit longer, and we got a little bit more cameos, and we got to explore a little bit more of, the headquarters, because, but there was some stuff, like I said, I really enjoyed the AJ PTSD stuff. So hey. Yeah, I mean, that may come into play, stuff like that. Obviously, we couldn't get extreme ladder spots like, bridge between the apron, stuff like that. We wasn't getting stuff like that. And then, the killing of Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black, I'm curious to see how they're going to do that. So, Money in the Bank gets a pass from me. How about you guys? Post it in the comments down below. Did you guys enjoy Money in the Bank? Did you guys enjoy the whole pay-per-view overall? Did you enjoy the whole concept of them fighting on the roof? Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed my review. Hit the subscribe button for more WWE reviews right here on Nerd Coalition. So once again, this is NC, the place to be. Children, Mr. A&D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.
Yo, what's up? This is your boy Walter Jones, also known as Zach. the Black Ranger.
What's going on? Your man R, son, the voice of reason, Super Triple, Black Triple's in the building. What's good?
This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger, and I am here with the Nerd Coalition.
You're watching Nerd Coalition.
If you have not seen it, you better go find it.
Welcome to the Coalition. We got all that you need. Come and chill in the place to be. It's NC, your favorite out of Philly, and we're powered by Spaces. We're on Stitcher, YouTube, and many other places. Swag with the nerdgasm, it's getting heated. Mr. A&E, wrestling talks, no gimmicks needed. We got it all here, so you know what to do. Go and like and subscribe and hit the bell too. It's NC in the place to be. It's NC in the place to be. It's NC in the place to be, with your host, Mr. A&E. It's NC in the place to be. It's NC in the place to be.